Once again, I have received a truly overwhelming, incredible donation. Welcome back. Now, once again, I have just been blown away with the level of generosity that is thrown in my direction, and none more so than today when I received a massive box from Kickback 1985 from Ireland. Now, I'm going to show you all the contents, and we're talking Star Wars, Action Force, G.I. Joe, M.a.s.k, and of course Transformers. Now, you may recall that at the end of last year, Kickback had sent me a couple of boxes containing some really amazing Transformers, and that kind of reinvigorated my love of Transformers. Well, once we get to the contents of this box, it really has gotten me full on back into collecting Transformers again. So without further ado, let's take a look at the generous donations from Kickback 1985. So starting with Star Wars, I got a couple of items that I have not seen before. This first one is a 501st Stormtrooper. I have no idea what line of figures this is from because, as you know, I am not what you would call a modern collector. I'm not seeing any sort of indication like vintage collection, or is it saga they called it? But this one on the back does say it's Vader's fist. Interesting. The very name of the fighting 501st inspires fear across the galaxy. So obviously it's a 3¾ inch figure, and I'm just seeing a slightly different emblem on the breastplate. Obviously it's the Imperial Empire emblem, but I'm assuming that's the 501st Legion. Not something I'm clued up on, but I do love the look of this figure. Really nice. And interestingly enough, I recently did a video talking about my unintended Boba Fett collection, and that collection has just grown slightly larger with this special 300th figure edition Boba Fett. Again, I have no idea what line this is from, but interestingly enough, on the back, it shows some other figures available, one of which is the original 78 Luke Skywalker, a 1985 Han in carbonite figure, and one called Mara Jade. I don't know anything about her. So this again, 3¾ inch, so I don't know if we're talking vintage collection or whatever, but regardless, this is an awesome looking figure. And as I said, this just goes to add to my unintended Boba Fett collection. Next up we have G.I. Joe, or is it M.a.s.k? This is the Specialist Tracker G.I. Joe figure, which obviously is matte tracker in 3¾ inch scale. It looks fantastic, and it is open, so I will be able to get it out and display it with the rest of my M.a.s.k. And I've looked at this from afar for quite some time, but never actually got round to getting myself one. But thanks to Kickback, I now have it. And it does make mention of M.a.s.k on the back, where it says, joining forces with the G.I. Joe team, the Mobile Armored Strike Command team battles Venom. So I'm assuming this might be part of a comic book story. I don't know. But regardless, I am over the moon to finally get the G.I. Joe Matt Tracker figure. So now, he's only gone and sent me some Palitoy Action Force, which is quite appropriate because I have been thinking about getting back into these, and having received that wonderful book from my friend Derek, I've been looking at these and thinking, oh my god, I could really go with getting a big collection. The trouble being, most of these are in the UK, and the price of shipping them to America just makes it so cost prohibitive. But I now have 3 more from my collection thanks to Kickback. First up is the SAS Frogman, and interestingly enough, this must have been one of the very first figures from the second wave, because the card back still shows the first wave of figures which didn't appear on any of the other card backs when I was collecting these as a kid. So we've got the SAS Frogman, still sealed on the card. Sadly, with these figures, the bubbles are prone to sort of cracking and splitting, as is the case here, so I may end up taking this one out. Next up, we have one that I did have as a kid. Now, I knew him as Muton. I'm guessing in America he's Mouton, but I think we'll stick with calling him Muton. A really weird looking figure, obviously based on some sort of deep sea diver. But again, it's one of these figures I do remember buying, and we're talking 1984 here, and it was in the town of Dalkeith at the John Menzies store that I got my Muton. So to get reunited with him again is a wonderful thing. Again, this one still sealed, but the bubble is in rather nice condition, so that gives me a bit of a dilemma. And lastly, we have the Space Security Trooper, and this is one that I most certainly did not have as a kid. And interestingly, this has the offer for the free Commander figure that I certainly remembered mailing away for. This one again, the bubble has come loose, so the figure can be removed. But this is a wonderful start to my Action Force collection, and Kickback, I am so thankful that you've done this. This is such a wonderful gesture. Now, lastly, we have Transformers, and we have a lot of Transformers. So in this initial batch, all the Takara Tomy reissues, we have Jazz, we have Ratchet, and we have Ironhide. And these really do look superb in these boxes, especially with the Japanese. They're very unique. And these are from the Transformers Encore series. Everything is in Japanese, but these are just such beautiful looking Transformers, and in these boxes they look the part. Also, another one that's very similar in terms of packaging, but it's one that I've not seen before. Yes, it's a side swipe, but this one just calls it a collector's edition Cybertron. Again, more Japanese here. E-Hobby, okay. But once again, the Japanese is throwing me for a loop, so I can't really tell you much more about it. But the fact that it doesn't say Sideswipe is interesting, although clearly that's who he is. But again, what a beautiful looking package. Next up is one that there will be a follow-up video on this, because Kickback wants me to clarify something about this type of figure. So this is Starscream, and this of course was from the line of reissues that were exclusive to Walmart. So stay tuned for a follow-up on this figure and a bit more about these so-called exclusives. But again, this one really does look brilliant in this packaging. Of course, this one I can read because everything is in English, although there is also some French, because I believe this was also a Canadian exclusive. But again, more on that in another video. We're almost there. I mean, this is just incredible. Next up, we got Ultra Magnus. This is one that I've been eyeballing for quite some time, and I am really looking forward to getting this out, because this one has already been out and I was going to say played with. I think displayed is the correct term. So this is one that I'm really excited to get into. Never had one of these and never actually seen one in the flesh. This one is Hasbro, so I'm not sure what line. If I just read here, this is okay, commemorative series from Hasbro. So there we go, fantastic. And last but not least is one that I have actually been looking at lately. I came close to getting one of the Chinese knockoffs, but I thought against it at the last minute, and I'm glad I did, because we have the Devastator set. This one again is the Takara Tomy, so all Japanese, and I'm thinking that once I get into this one, I'll probably need to download the instructions in English, because I know I'm going to have a hell of a time getting this thing transformed and set up. You know, we've got 6 mini Decepticons to combine into the one massive Devastator. This is beautiful, and again, I always say this in these Transformer videos, but I love the artwork on the back, those battle scenes. So I'm just making sure I've got everything. Yes, I have. This has been a hell of a donation. So Kickback 1985, I want to say thank you so much. And genuinely thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am blown away that you think highly enough of me to send me these parts of your collection, which obviously you've taken amazing care of over the years. And, you know, Transformers, M.a.s.k, G.I. Joe, Action Force, and Transformers, it's just so humbling, really. So anyway, as I said, stay tuned for follow-up videos featuring some of these beautiful Transformer figures.